There we are, MX1 riders in the, no, MX2 riders, sorry, in the holding area now, getting ready for their second race of the weekend. Some sponsors to read out, as you see there, MPS, Motorcycle Parts Store.co.uk, and JKPT, J. Kelly MX Strength and Conditioning. They're also some sponsors of the Hawkstone International. Jeff's back with me now. He's just doing some weird dance. What was that? Was that a disability, or was that like just oh, got to be PC on here. You got all that out now. You feeling better? Was that
I'll tell you what that was.
Trying to warm up.
That's exactly what that was.
Yeah, I might just stand up for a little bit if I'm honest.
That was me trying to warm up. It's cold out there.
Do you mind if I stand up for a little bit?
You can do what you want.
Do that. Cold out there. It's also cold in here.
Yeah, it is. But we're at the races, so we don't care. It's brilliant. So you can see Carl McNichol there running the very Larry pink 7
gear. Yeah. Very, very brave in the white, you know. He's obviously got a decent sponsor.
Yes, he has. So these guys getting ready to go. You can see them doing whatever they can do to stay warm. It is cold. Obviously, we can't do that on TV. We can't give you how cold it is. But you can see these guys doing their best to stay warm. They'd have had a little rundown. They'd have done a load of like workouts before they've come down to the pit area, actually. A lot of them between races will get on like a turbo trainer, you know, get on a static push bike or do what they got to do to keep the blood flowing and the muscles not seizing up too much. So these guys will be out shortly for the second MX2 moto here at the Hawkstone International.
Also got the start grids are MGP steel. So
they are.
Mel Pocock Senior's just told me to do a little shout out then. So if anyone wants any of these start grids, I think they make them, don't they? I think you can buy them.
You can buy them, yeah. You can buy like a smaller version, you know, as in just the width of the wheel pretty much for practicing and stuff like that. So yeah, if any of you guys out there that race and do nationals where they have what you can see, those mesh gates, hit up Mel Pocock Senior.
Yeah, or any of them really, any of the Pococks. I think a few of them will be able to get you sorted out, and they are available to anybody who wants one. And they're a bit lighter weight, aren't they? Because they're quite heavy.
Yeah,
they're quite heavy things.
And again, shout out to our sponsors, the guys at Beer and RFX, with all the brands under their umbrella, the likes of Seven, which Carl McNichol's got on there, Seven Racewear, of course, James Stewart. We all know about the history and
good to see him back as well.
Yep.
Amazing to see him back in the sport.
Guys at Oakley, Fly, Motul, all these brands that have got behind it to make it happen. As I said, without their support, we wouldn't even be doing this live stream. So big up to them. And of course, everybody involved with the Hawkstone International, the Salop Motor Club, and all their sponsors as well that have got on board to make the event happen. It is now really sort of cemented in the calendar as the season opener for us UK our fans. It's our first glimpse every year of seeing where everybody's at. Admittedly, we got the GP next week.
Yeah, but it's unusual for us to have the GP so early.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, whether we can get it all out of the way early part of this week.
Wouldn't that be good?
And have a decent Matterley.
Also, a shout out to, obviously, everybody following the sport would have seen that there's a new event, effectively, off the back of an old event. The Vets Motocross of Nations, or VMXDN, by my old colleague and working for Doc Wobb and Dave King. They pulled some big names in for the very first one off the bat of Evo Vets MXDN at the iconic Fox Hill circuit at the end of August, bank holiday weekend. You definitely need to be at that if you're a fan of certainly the 90s era.
So Dale Grayton from Middleton MX, sponsor of Lewis Hall, has asked me to give a big shout out to the DE56 homeboy, Lewis Hall. So Derby lad. I'm also from the Midlands, from Derby as well. So I obviously want Lewis to do well.
I
don't think he did what he wanted to do in that first one, did he?
I can tell you, he got run wide in the first corner, had an incident, went down. Then got caught up midway through and got his legs stuck under the bike round here.
Yeah, because he's better than that.
Yeah,
he is
absolutely.
a lot better than that.
Yeah,
so
well,
he's
speed,
running his own team, LHR Racing.
the speed was there, so we'll see.
Look at Gifford looking there.
Yeah, look
All
at Jamie
serious.
Law looking at far too rock and
Flash.
roll in like a Star-Spangled Banner answer kit.
Is
So
that a USA flag or is that a kit?
Well, I don't know, but either way, it's it looks like he should be riding for America across the nations.
No, it looks cool. So
there is Conrad Muse on his new ride. Stebbins Car Store, Superstore, sorry, KTM, powered by Bike Shore.
yeah, got all the tools he needs. They've Stebbins Car Superstore have stepped up and said, dude, whatever you need, we're here, we'll do it for you. There's Morris, his trainer, going, mate, you gotta be over here. But yeah, Conrad's got everything now, and he is the main, main attention, main focus of everybody around him. So fingers crossed, we'll see something.
There's somebody who knows a thing or two.
Stefan Everts,
the winningest rider in Grand Prix history, just telling his son, go there. I don't listen.
I'll listen.
Most kids, whatever, don't we? You always think your parents are wrong. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I wonder if
I
he
wonder
actually
what the
goes
dynamic
through.
is.
Yeah,
I wonder if he actually ever goes,
no,
Dad, shut up. All right.
I can imagine he probably does, because we've all been there and done it.
I know what I'm doing. What do you know? I wonder if he's ever uttered those words. What do you know?
Yeah, well, I imagine. We've all been silly enough to do that to our parents at some time.
But, yeah, so he has got, obviously, a wealth of knowledge behind him. Now, I don't know, do I say it? Yeah, I'm going to say it. Commentator's curse, it'll probably be a dull race now, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say I've got a feeling in my bones that this one's going to be a bit more lively. They've got their first race out of the way. They know the track a bit more. Conrad will want to rectify that mistake. Vial, take it or leave it, would not want to be beaten like he was.
Wainwright.
Yeah.
What happened? Did you manage to go
No,
over? I wish
didn't.
I'd have gone and asked them.
No, I mean, obviously, nothing with his doing. It was clearly a mechanical fault. Elfie Jones on the Chambers Husqvarna. Took them quite an effort, actually, to get that start device put on. And again, if you're new to the sport, what they're doing there is there's a little button on the fork guard, lower button, that locks the forks down. Now, what that does is it lowers the front end, with the aim is that the front end won't lift so much off the start, therefore getting better traction. So it's a kind of very simple mechanical mechanism for launch control. That's what it is. There's no, like we get in Formula One, where obviously it's all done with computer programming and all that kind of stuff. These guys, it's more primitive than that.
And also, they're getting lower, because these start grids, what you can see here, provide so much traction. Back in the day, on a sand start, you wouldn't want to have gone too low on the front, because it would prevent traction. It wouldn't allow the back end of the bike to dig in. So on a sand start, you'd probably have your start device quite high, or not even bother with one. But obviously with the grids, you want to crank that SOB right down to the tyre, don't you? Because you've just got unlimited traction off those things. Most of these guys will be going off that on a 250 full throttle.
Yeah. Obviously, although they're grids and they're metal, when they get muddy, and they do get a bit more slippery, but far better than wet concrete.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go then. It's the MX2 Moto 2. Who's going to pull the whole shot? That is a description for the first rider round the first corner. And it looks like Conrad Muse to me, this time right where he wants to be. So Conrad Muse, but Vial sneaks through, does he? No, he doesn't, not quite. It's Conrad Muse into the lead, right. Let's see what he's got then leading from the front. Clean track, clean kit, clean goggles, which obviously was an issue for him in the first moto. Not this time, but look, the Wolf's up there. Gifting is there. As I said, got a feeling this one's going to be a bit more of an interesting race.
Looks like the Salop Club has been in some of that, the nice plant hire, the Ashbrook plant hire, and come out and scrub the track up during the break as well. So some of the parts of the track have been smoothed out, but it will still be pretty sketchy.
Oh, yeah, let's not kid ourselves. It'll still be hard going out there. Yeah, look at that. We got a lot of the big hitters here in the top 5. So, let's be honest, other than one more race to go, the super final, this is it. This is like their final shakedown for all these Grand Prix races. at the front of the field. They'll want to go out of here feeling, right, that went good, I feel good,
I know where I'm
confidence,
at.
know
Yeah.
where I'm at. Matterly, I'm gunning for it.
Yeah, let's go. No, I think so.
Conrad, he does that so well up on the peg.
So annoying, isn't it?
Just over those tiny little bumps where he just preloads and jumps over them or whatever.
I know. It's very annoying how easy he makes that look. That, believe me, if you're watching this, it's not easy. You just got to watch some of the guys sort of mid-pack to know how not easy it is. The difference it is massive.
It is a brutal sport, but it's brilliant. Yeah, so many things, as we said, that you got to take into account. It is not, as some of my school friends used to say back in the day when I told them what I did, it is not a case of you just sit on it and the bike does all the work. How infuriating is it when people say that?
Oh, yeah, so you sit on something with a heart rate of 180 beats per minute and I'm not doing anything.
Here's one for you. I actually got sent out of class because a friend of mine said that to me, so I smacked him around the back of the head with a plastic ruler.
Well, he deserved it.
He did. And I got sent out. But, you know, I stand by that. He was talking utter nonsense, so he deserved a slap. Right, anyway, it is a brutal sport, yep. And this is why we love it so much. This is going to be good then. So we're going to get the times up on the screen. There's Karsmakers, sorry. He is in third, DeWolf in fourth, Gifting back in fifth. Everett's in the mix as well. Much better start from Jamie Carpenter this time on the GRT Impact machine.
Yeah, so Jamie's been out in Spain doing his winter prep, so probably not been used to too much of this wet weather stuff, so good to see Jamie up there. And yeah, like you said, switching from Yamaha to KTM. New team, new bike. And he's done a lot of testing with Carl Anderson from Cass. And he's originally from Bournemouth, so probably not too used to the sandy stuff from being a young rider.
No, not too much. Although obviously, no, because we don't have. I don't live too far from Jamie. We don't have too many sand tracks down our. We used to. One of the best in the world, in fact, Matcham's. But that is no more.
Matcham's was amazing.
Yes, it was.
It was this, pretty much, wasn't it? It was very similar.
Yeah. But Jamie is of an age where he wouldn't have ridden that too often.
Maybe on 50 or 65.
Yeah. But you know. They're well travelled. They go and put the work in abroad, Northern Europe, to do what they got to do to be ready. And he'll be hoping for a good year. He had a bit of an ACL injury last year that he actually picked up at the Steelhawk Motorcycle Club Airborne Gunner Supercross. But he's had surgery and whatever on that, and he's come back looking good. And I said a new ride for Jamie as well, switching to the GRT Impact team. In fact, they predominantly have been a youth-only team, but they're now jumping into pro ranks with Jamie. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and like Jamie's a solid guy to do that with, I think. He's not too much of a big risk for the team. I think he's a rider that's going to help develop their youth program as well, because he's just sort of stepped out of that. And he's a kid that's really puts a lot of his own time and effort into it. So, he's a good kid to learn from, is what I'm saying. Lead by example. You know, and I think if you look at Jamie as an example, he's very good. You know, very good person, and he's got his priorities all set out in the right places.
He has indeed. Yeah, good idea. Good. I think he, like I said, he'll be a good role model to the kids below him. Good to see Liam Everts hanging with this bunch. This will be good for him. We said it before, even in this broadcast, a lot of pressure on the kid. Not from the family, but just because of who he is. But if he can stick with these guys, it will give him a confidence. Obviously, moving up to MX2 for this year. So if he's going to, be in and around the mix, because you'd like to think that Conrad and certainly VL are going to be at the sharp end.
Yeah.
If he can sort of stay within 10 seconds or more by the end of the race, you would have thought that's pretty good.
Looks like, it might be Gifting. Is that Gifting there behind?
Gifting number 33, yeah. No, sorry, Gifting is in fifth.
It's confusing me because Kai de Wolf, sorry, has just gone around all these guys.
Yep. So the Wolf's moving up. So he's basically got into third. There he is, closing in, isn't he? No, that's not them. Sorry,
no, he's ahead. He's gone. He's ahead of them.
Yeah. Oh, so, okay. Yeah, we're following the.
So looking at Isaac Gifting, I was just going to say he's lost his inside fork guard. So if you're looking at that right there, look, this, what would be our left side, his right, it is missing. And now that would have happened on the start. So what happens is these guys have the bikes cranked down so hard on them whole shot devices, you could just rip the fork guard off. And I imagine that that's what would have happened there.
I think I actually saw it fly off on lap 1 somewhere, if I remember. But either way, he hasn't got it. I mean, it's not a part that's going to slow him down.
No.
It's not a critical part at this point.
Everett's going to wreck the seals in the suspension. It's not his problem.
No, but it won't. What I mean is, it won't cause him any issue in this race. So yeah, you can see that Everett's made a move there on Gifting, who didn't quite land that jump, lost all his speed. So Everett's up a spot. Liam Everett's now up into 5th, just gone past the opening moto winner. Remember, Gifting took the first race win earlier on today. God, airs it out.
Do you know what? Everyone's looking a little bit more frisky now, aren't they? I think the track's allowing him to just push a little bit harder, and they can take those little risks without, landing in the soft spot. They sort of, I guess the word I'm looking for is predictability.
Not only that, they've got their one race in, so they know the track a bit more. They would have made little changes in between.
Yeah, for sure.
To improve the bike or whatever. So this second race, as I said, should be a little bit more interesting. They're not, put it this way, they're not sort of then finding out where they're at. The shackles are off a bit more for the second moto. That's the thing.
Did you see what Liam did through there? He stayed on that hard line on the inside. Makers went wide, followed the berm. It just robbed his power. Liam just hugged that inside, stayed on that hard base, and just was able to just gain a little bit more time. So Liam Everett's, like his dad, riding smart, looking at, that's how, Stefan used to win races. He'd just use less energy and do smarter stuff.
Absolutely. There's Gifting now trying to get on the back of Everett's. Meanwhile, Conrad Muse is starting. It almost pains me to say it because I don't want to, because the last time, because you got called up in the first race saying how good he looked jumping into that sandpit, and then boom.
I know.
But he is looking tidy at the front. Yeah, VL's sticking with him, but Conrad looks pretty good at this point.
VL's also paid to stick with him, so I expect VL to be there.
Yeah, indeed. Look at that. Look at that. Did you see Everett's round there? That was classic Stefan style.
That was 72
on the balls of his feet.
Shizzle, wasn't it?
Stood up, even round the tightest bit, body weight all over the front. That kind of
keeping traction, just keeping traction and driving forward.
Yeah. So he's got a good coach. It's fair to say.
So Liam Everett's riding for Dega Procross KTM, new team really to MXGP and MX2. Predominantly they were European team, so Dega Procross stepping it up now to the big boys, really.
Yeah.
With two fantastic riders.
Very much so. You can see there how it's got on the gas, how it looks deep sand, but it's kind of hard underneath. And as we said before, big shout out to the guys at 7 and Oakley for getting involved with the Behind the Beer and RFX brands or umbrella. Big shout to them for making it happen. And the Salop Club, I can't stress that enough, for just to run the International every year. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of organisation, no doubt, particularly being one of the early pre-season internationals. You're never sure where riders are at with entries and stuff like that. And, big up to the Salop Club for, again, even...
It's a big task.
Yeah, it is.
I saw, parking attendants up the road, going all the way up to the main road, things like that. There's a lot that goes on to putting this event on. In an area where it wasn't. These roads aren't designed for this many cars. And
at this time of the year as well, you're just taking a punt. There's no doubt about it. You're taking a punt on the weather, and it's great to see this many people come out.
There's a lot of fans here today.
Yeah, in these conditions, because it hasn't been great the last 2 or 3 days in the UK.
K.D. Wolf just popping his way up there. He's not too far away, so K.D. Wolf is in this mix, isn't he?
This is going to be good. I think the tail end of this race is going to be good.
Yeah, because it's going to start closing up. K.D. Wolf, Vial and Muse are all going to start bunching up together.
Did you see Conrad just getting...
I'm jumping off that little...
That's like Supercross stuff, because they're landing on something that's higher than the takeoff.
Yeah. Smart riding. It's very good. He does things like that, which is hard to understand how he makes it look so easy. it almost blags my mind. I don't get it.
Well, sit back and watch and learn, and I expect you to be riding like that in a couple of weeks' time.
Oh, well, no. Don't think that's ever going to happen, mate.
This
I
is
can
going to
dream.
This is going to tighten up, I'm sure, because it looks to me, we haven't got obviously the times as in the lap times on the screen, but we don't need them. We've got a visual here that Kay de Wolf is definitely starting to pinch up the top 3 now. Okay, the gap between Muse and Vial hasn't really changed, but here comes Kay de Wolf.
I would say Kay de Wolf is the fastest man on track.
Yeah, he's going to make this a 3-way battle. Carsmakers is back in 4th, but they've been dropped. Look at the difference there. But Gifton, who took the opening moto win, is basically 20 seconds off the race lead now. And yet in the opening moto, he ended up closing in on the last few laps and taking the race win. But he's going to have to find 20 seconds from somewhere if he wants to win this one. Evert's tucked in behind him. Then it's Jamie Carpenter, as we mentioned, having a really good ride. Raf Muissen is in 8th. 9th, Jamie Law, that a Pico 252 stroke. And then Sam Nunn having a good one, actually, just moving up ahead of him. So Grimshaw in 11th. Jamie Wainwright is keeping that Kawasaki going this time around.
Yeah, he's going to want to edge himself up into the top 10, isn't he?
Oh, somebody just went down. Who was that? That was De Wolf. Did I just see somebody crash in the corner? Yes, I did. I just saw the front end go out of the corner of my eye there, and yet De Wolf just tucked the front end. So what was a 3-way battle, or shaping up to be a 3-way battle, now becomes a 2-way battle. Back to a 2-way battle.
Yeah, so
he would have lost a load of time. Let the time refresh on the screen here. That should bring up to speed in a minute of suddenly the time that he's lost. Unless it is just those 3 seconds, but I think he lost more than that.
Yeah, so Kay de Wolf on the factory Nestan Husqvarna team, backed in a big way by Jumbo as well. Jumbo Superstore. They're a shop, aren't they? It's like Asda.
Yeah, it's like basically a Dutch equivalent.
Yeah. They're a big. So it's good to see brands like that as well stepping into the space. I mean, I know Jumbo have been around doing it for a while, haven't they? So. Yeah,
they've
Jumbo
been around a lot.
But they're now like a title sponsor for that team, which is cool to see.
Yeah, and Jackie Martin's team has always had support from them. Of course, they've been a private sponsor of Jeffrey Hurlin's for a number of years now as well. So there you go. You need to send your CV into Tesco's. By the way, if we got viewers around the world, Tesco's is one of the biggest supermarket chains in the UK.
Yeah.
Just if you're wondering what the hell we're talking about. Outside the top 10, you've got Grimshaw, Blanken is in 12th, Wainwright, then Mills, Chris Mills. Alfie Jones is basically his debut ride in MX2, looking pretty good, ahead of Bailey Johnson, those guys stepping up. Lewis Hall switched back to a 254 stroke. He has been riding a 252 stroke most of the off-season.
Late on he did that, didn't he? I was a bit of a...
Because he was looking really good on the 252 stroke, so I don't know the reasoning for that. But anyway, he's on a 4-stroke now. There's Harvey Cashmore riding for the Chambers Husqvarna team, coming through number 10. He's going to be lapped here by
Kay de Wolf. A lot of people cheering over the fence for him as well.
Yeah, and there's no embarrassment by being lapped by Kay de Wolf.
I think Conrad's looking pretty good at the minute, isn't he? I mean, a couple of seconds, and when he came through that last time round, he just looked like he had that little bit of a zest.
So De Wolf lost approximately 6 seconds on that little front end washout on that corner. He's just come round the lap.
Let's see how much he's gained back, because look how, he's looking good. So once he comes through here, and if we give it he threw it into that berm there then, didn't he? But if we give it a few seconds, that should update. And we'll know the
well, that is the gap.
Now.
He was 3 seconds behind, and then it's gone out to 9. So that's pretty much right. Let's see if he's pulled any of it back. Take a little time for the timing to refresh. Gifton still sat there in 5th now, just starting to edge away. No, he's gone up to 4th, past his teammate. So the two Hitachi powered by Milwaukee KTM riders running 4th and 5th. Gifton putting a move on his teammate there to move it into 4th. But that gap, 27 seconds off the race lead, you've got to say, I
think they've probably been slowing each other down a little bit, though. They are in like their own little sort of battle, which doesn't always help, does it? You know, when you're sort of chopping and diving each other,
Yeah.
you're going to put a halt on forward like progression.
Yeah, well, obviously the top 20 overall from the combined 2 races. This is the second MX2 race, by the way. The combined top 20 for MX2 and MX1 will go into the super final at the end of the day, which will be at 10 to 4 coming off the line, scheduled to come out for the line at 10 to 4. That's where we put all the best riders from the meeting effectively in one race, 250s against 450s. So obviously these top hitters are going to clearly score enough points to make the super final, no problem there.
Yeah, and then it's 250F against 450F. That's just a cool thing, isn't it? It's going to be tough, though, for a 250 guy today, I think, with how heavy the track is. However, there does seem to be some sort of like firm line cutting in now. I've noticed Cader Wolf, if you look at some parts of the track, he's just getting really crazy traction, you know, on the bumps, and he starts like leaning back on the bike. So it's coming around. We've had no rain.
Oh, I tell you what, he is on a charge because the red mist has come down. He's obviously made this mistake on this corner under the bridge, but now you could see just going out of this shot in front of him was Tom Viel. So he's clearly pulled back some of that basically 6 seconds. He's definitely pulled some of that back. He's probably halved it this lap. Well, obviously,
imagine having that feeling that you've just chucked away a win, though. It's got to be.
I don't need to imagine it.
Got to be. You've probably done it.
I've had a few of them.
Well, I have, but it's not been counting for money. You know, he could have chucked 10,000 euros down the train.
Yeah. So he's charging, absolutely on it, trying to. Oh, he's charging so much. He's like, just get out of the way. Who was that? I don't know who that was. Carl McNichol was a lap down. I don't even know Carl was there. He has just literally punted Carl.
He did. Yeah, he did.
I'm coming through.
Interestingly, he hasn't actually made time up on Conrad.
No.
He made time up on Vial. Conrad's actually gone faster.
Yeah. Well, Conrad has got a nice lead now. It's out to nearly 6 seconds, as you can see on your screen. This is what we want from a British perspective. Being biased, we want Conrad Muse to come out of this weekend feeling confident, feeling good.
I want him to go and win a world title on a privateer outfit. Imagine that. When is the last time that's happened?
God knows.
A long time.
Sure, somebody will post a comment up and tell us. So please,
I'd love to know. Yeah, let us know.
The comments coming in. Keep liking and subscribing to MXN TV, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. We will get a chance to read all those comments at some point. But right now, obviously, we're focusing on the race here ahead of us. But yeah, Conrad looking good on the Stebbings car Superstore.
McNichol there on the Verde. What is it? Verde Cilio KTM. Looking, you know what? He's had a good day. You know, he's not having the best time now, but I think McNichol, he's done well. He's rounding out the top 20 at the minute. Obviously had a few issues, but he started so well in that opening moto and definitely showed that he's got some speed. Wow. That is sketchy now. That is so sketchy now.
I have to say, that until you've ridden Hawkstone and you come round to that jump, it's a bit blind. You can't actually spot your landing. You just see the bit that you're landing is higher, which is fine when it's like the first lap of practice or it's quite smooth and it's dry.
Yeah.
You get some proper holes in the bottom of that takeoff because people accelerate at the bottom. It holes out.
It does. You get massive brake accelerating bumps. Don't you?
Yeah, and what happens is you wheelie into it and your foot pegs ground. And it sometimes just drags you enough for you to hang it up and come up short. And I think that's what happened there to Cader Wolf. And then you've got to get that whole panic rev thing on where you bounce off the top, but then you're bouncing off a 10-foot drop off.
Into holes. I remember a few years ago, I was racing an amateur class here, and I did that. That was all rutted out and stuff. And I found a good line, and I was doing it. And God, it made up so much time, though. You know, if people aren't doing it, you can make up so much time on that bit of the track.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of our sport. Again, you know, there's the margins. For example, road racing, you know, we're talking milliseconds between them and whatever. In motocross, you can make a mistake that will cost you like easily 4 or 5
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah. I think I was catching another guy every lap that I did it,
But the good thing about it is you've got more chance to get that time back. In road racing, for example,
if you lose it, it's gone.
It's so hard to get it back.
Yeah.
But in motocross, the time differentials are so, lap times are, you know, for a lot of the top riders, they're consistent. But there be differentials of like 2 or 3 seconds.
There could be, yeah. You could have a lap that's 2 seconds off, but then it's not. But if you have a lap that's 2 seconds off, it's not necessarily anything to worry about.
Yeah,
if you did that in road racing, you'd be in 20th.
Yeah.
Like literally, it's.
This is a good ride for Conrad Mewse. I'm pleased to see this.
Very good.
He's stretching out the gap. I think he has actually, for a better word, broken Vial in this one. He's so much nicer. He's learned from his first race crash in there. Decided, play the percentage game. I won't keep jumping that. I'll just get through there clean every lap.
Did you see him go up the bank down that straight then as well? Just turning the wheel into the bank.
Carrying a lot of momentum. I'll tell you where he is blindingly quick. Is where they come up around the ridge that leads back onto the first corner. Hopefully, we'll stick with him for the rest of this lap so we can see a bit of a riding clinic on how to ride deep sand at Hawkstone, enough to be certainly leading the race. And you look at that, beautiful timing.
Yeah. It just...
flowing now,
it almost looks slow, doesn't it? It's unreal.
He's definitely got the flow on now, carrying a lot of momentum. So... somebody in a good vantage spot up there in the trees. We'll turn back to the racing. I think we've missed Conrad go through here, have we? Yeah, I think he's already gone in and out of shot. He's moving that quickly. Oh, no, there he is. There he is. Somebody's burning coal. Well,
it's like smoke machines going off everywhere, isn't it? Like, and tonight!
I tell you, it reminds me of my nightclub scene. I wasn't much for that, I've got to be honest. Top of the pop days, maybe.
Top of the pops.
But this is where we want to try and film him through, and I missed him. He was so quick through there. Like, look at that, wheeling over that hole.
Jumping over that hole. That part of the track, it does slow you down a lot, to be fair. It's quite technical through there.
So, a clean...
I think they use that part on the Enduro.
Yeah, they do.
In the Enduro.
Looking, without, excuse the pun here, but looking fly in his fly kit.
Oh, yeah. And he launched that first single then. He had so much speed. First I've seen anybody jump that all day. And obviously when you're doing that, you can clear all the holes. You know, you can land down the back side of one of the accelerating bumps. Again, gaining momentum, not falling in anything. And that's what really is the art to sand riding.
See there what I was talking about, where we can't see the takeoff of the jump into the sandpit, but we could see the takeoff of that. And could you see how they're having to wheelie into the face of the jump? So they can't just let the front end go in. There's a nasty hole at the bottom that they have to wheelie over. And I'll tell you, that takes a lot of confidence, and that's something that these riders have, of course. Club-level riders would really struggle with that.
Yeah. Yeah, typically you wouldn't get that on a club day, though.
Yes, true.
The track would form different. It's just that comes with how hard these guys are on the gas, up the jumps.
Got to say, though, Conrad is absolutely hitting all his marks at the minute. We followed him around pretty much for a whole lap, and he was on the same lines, executing them well like he was in the opening part of the race. So he's feeling good in this one, Conrad Mewse. He has now gapped Tom Vial by nearly 10 seconds, and Kay DeWolf is coming back at Tom Vial. Here we go, race on, between number 28 and number 74. They got a back marker between them. I'm sure DeWolf will make light work of them. And then this is the race to follow, I think, now, to the flag, because Conrad is away on it on his Stebbins car, Superstore.
The only person that's going to beat Conrad is Conrad right now, so...
Yes.
I think he's got it.
Yeah, look, nice big gap. We're going to try and focus in, get the guys out there on with the TV cameras to follow this battle between Tom Vial and Kay DeWolf. That's where it matters. Way back behind them in fourth is Kay Karsmakers. And then Liam Edowitz 3 seconds off the back of him. Isaac Gifton, the opening moto race winner, is nearly 1 minute now behind Conrad Mewse.
Yeah, so both these guys as well, Tom Vial and Kay DeWolf, both on the new platform for KTM. So completely new bike for 2023. But obviously these guys are factory guys, so they get to ride it a little bit earlier. And they're obviously, I would say, in a developmental stage at the moment. So they'll be trying to figure some things out, making sure these bikes are completely dialed in for when they go GP racing. Look, this is KTM. They're no joke. They are definitely going to have this bike figured out by the time they go racing GPs. But both of them in the top 3 at the minute in this one. Obviously fighting for that second position. It's probably quite valuable as a overall perspective.
I really are. Obviously, the guys are working hard to follow this battle. I hope we stick with it to the end. Conrad has maybe just backed it down a little bit, or these guys have picked up the pace, but nothing to worry about. He's got a healthy lead.
Wow, look at that. So,
yeah,
Caden Wolf up the inside. Has he got it?
No, well, he's Harvey Cashmore is the meat in the sandwich. He's going to force him wide.
Oh.
Cashmore had the best view in the house of that one. Conrad looks like he just got held up.
Hang on, did Conrad come off the bike?
Yes, I think he has. So either Conrad stalled it or got hung up with a back marker there. He has lost time. He's still got a 5-second lead over
they
VL.
are on the last lap, though.
But he definitely got held up. Grimshaw doesn't know either side. He's going to go left, go right. Oh, my God, where do you go?
Tom Grimshaw having it from every angle then.
Yes, indeed. Okay, we're going to try and follow these guys. Luckily, this time of year, the leaves here on the trees at Hawkstone have all fallen off, so we can see around the circuit better. But yes, Muse definitely hit the dirt, or something happened, because there he is. And then now only a few seconds back is Tom Vial. And then you got Kader Wolf right there.
I said it. I said the only person that can beat Conrad is Conrad. And what did he do? Well, he made a mistake.
Possible task, commentating.
It is. It is. You can never
always put your foot in it. No matter what you say, somebody will go and make you look stupid. Okay. Oh, he's getting held up Vial again. And, of course, you know, not so many blue flags around us at GPs. The guys are on it.
Oh, they're on it, yeah.
You know,
so there we are. Kader Wolf up the inside of Tom Vial.
Now, I can bet your bottom dollar Tom Vial will be...
screwing, I'd imagine.
Well, he'll be definitely saying back markers or
nasty words.
Yeah, cost him in this one.
Yeah.
Because they did slow him down a little bit, but you've got to be, well, you've got to have your A game about you. And
so both guys on factory outfits for the KTM group. Obviously, Husqvarna is Kader Wolf there, so he is on the Nissan factory Husqvarna team. And they're both figuring out this new bike as well. Like I said earlier on, in the developmental stage, they need to get these race laps clicked off and make sure that thing's ready to go when the gate drops at Matterley. Not long to go.
He is absolutely flying, De Wolf. He is throwing everything.
I think it's too late, mate.
It is.
It is too late.
I know that. You and I know that. Listen, he's a racer. He's going to the flag.
He wants to finish as close as he possibly can do to the back of Conrad, just to go, hey up, mate. Yeah. I'm here.
Absolutely. He has thrown everything into this last lap, but it's going to be a race victory for Conrad Muse. He worked for it. He kind of throws his hand in the air as if to say, that was cool. Look, I think there was an incident with a back marker there, which is why he was kind of doing that. But yes, a race win for Conrad Muse. That will give him loads of confidence and a great shot in the arm going into Matterley next week. Congratulations
to Conrad, and congratulations to Stebbins Car Superstore as well. KTM UK, and they're powered by Bike Shore, so big shout out to all their sponsors, and I'm sure everybody at that team is going to have a little bit of an uplift there, and I think that's Law saying he's sorry for getting in the way.
Yeah. Yeah, he did, but Jamie's been around the block long enough to know that, you know, and he wouldn't have intentionally done it.
No, you're just saying there, you know, it's cool, mate, it's cool, don't worry.
There's Big John Dennis, Conrad's new mechanic.
Hey, when the track's like this, though,
it looks like it.
When you're in a line, you ain't moving out of it.
No.
Because there's ruts and everything, like, you
look what it means. Look what it means.
It means so much
to Justin, and
yeah, they've got it.
You know,
feel the swag, Conrad. You walk with it, mate.
There you go. I mean, Justin's happy. You know, they put the old team back together. You know, listen, these coaches, Justin, Morris there, and all the guys, you know, it means a lot to them as well. They put hours in with, you know, every MX coach does. So, you know, you go through the ringer with a rider. You go through all the emotions. So, you know, it means so much to the team. Listen, when you get out on track, it's an individual sport. As soon as that crash helmet goes on and you go to the line, you know, you can't program a bike. You can't do these pit stop strategies like they do in F1 and all that stuff to help you win a race.
Mm-hmm.
But everything other side of that, it's a team game.
Oh, of course it is.
You can't do it without a good team
is.
behind you.
And if it's the right thing for Conrad to go back to basics, go back to that, you know, initial team where there was success, then that's what he needs to do. Right, we're going to throw some adverts now, guys, and we will be back shortly with MX1.